Everyone, it is Yoshi 100 here, and I am back with the Yoshi vs OPM Puyo vs Tetris series. Let's just jump right into this one. Now loading. So, as you may see, OPM has gotten noticeably faster now, so that's pretty good. It's going to make the series more exciting and intense. And already he's starting off with a bit of a wonky TKI, just transitions into Tetris stacking right after. I think I'll be stacking on the right hand side for these replays. So trying to take the garbage in the middle there, since it's 4 lines, except the bonus garbage, like the +2 there, or however much it is, it decided to go into the 3rd column, so it was too high up. Too bad, so sad. Alright, there's OPM with his PC opener. And for some reason, I don't know what's going on with the left hand side of my board, but yeah, sometimes I shove pieces over and I forget what I'm doing with it, so it's like, didn't make much use out of it when I really could have done a lot. And there was OPM with his PCs. He likes the PC a lot because he's good at it. Also, not enough space unfortunately, so that I couldn't set off the reds. Red was coming up later, so you know, not enough time to place all those other pieces to the side unless I cleared the blue, but if I had cleared the blue, then it would have wasted my time, so yeah. So, as you can see, sometimes I do try to stick to certain formats when I'm, like, there's no definitive format that I go with when I'm building on the right hand side, and when I'm stacking counters and everything, except when I do stuff like GTR for some reason. Also, look at OPM being fancy with his T-spins on top of the T-spins, and then he missed drops, unfortunately. Now I'm stacking on the left-hand side, since I've got resources over there, why not use them, right? That's all you gotta be wary of. Switching sides whenever you need to do so, and making sure that you're using all your resources rather than just slapping them over and not having use. Because at least when I slap pieces over to the side, I'm generally able to make something out of them later on during the game, if I can make it later on, that's the thing. It's kind of a bit of a risky thing to do, because like, if I slap pieces over there, it will limit how well I can do earlier during the game, but later during the game I'll have resources over there to work with, and that's the thing. So here, building on the right hand side again, moving downwards through the middle, OPM with another T-spin. They go my blues, start clearing downwards, being further down, digging through all that garbage, very nice. OPM with a small down stack combo. Waiting for a red, but I got a purple red, and a bunch of purples, so there's an extension. OPM T-spins. There's a very powerful 6 chain. And OPM's not completely dead. So here goes OPM with his down stacking skills. Since OPM is a very good down stacker. Don't know why he didn't continue the combo, but hey. I guess he just wanted to continue off with the Tetrises. The only thing is that it gave me time to do stuff. There's another Tetris. Oh, got a little confused, trying to consider the options and see what I wanted to do, and I guess I just decided, hey, let's set this off. There's a little 3 chain. By now I've cleared out nearly all of my garbage, and OPM is dropped a little awkwardly with the green piece. What's a green piece? The Z piece. The S piece? Yes, it's the S piece. Look at all these floating T-spins. He's trying to keep the pressure on, but the thing is, since I've got such a nice board, then this pressure isn't going to do anything, so really, he's dead. He could have tried down stacking, I'm not sure where that would have led him, but the thing is, with that kind of 7 chain coming up, it's not like his down stacking would have done much unless he was able to make like a mega gigantic down stack combo, so there's that game. So here I go with the GTR again, and there's OPM with this is awkward misdropped TKI. Of course, he's able to clean it up pretty nicely because he's good at these kind of things. Alright, take the garbage. There's a T-spin triple. And my thing does absolutely nothing because I'm bad. There's OPM with a couple awkward misdrops again though, so gives me a little bit of a chance to repair my GTR. Now I can make it work with the yellow as the trigger, then the greens and the reds are on top. So I set off what chain I have, seeing as OPM has set off a lot of stuff. He's waiting around. And off he goes again. He does a T-spin, starts to down stack. Nicely done. Unstacked on the right hand side as usual. Well, not stacking, but placing pieces. I don't know, what would you call it? It's not exactly stacking. I mean, is it stacking for you? I don't know what you call it. It's building, but like, I don't know. Whatever. With lucky RNG though, this time around, I'm grateful that the extra nuisance actually fell in the middle, because I needed it to elevate my way to the other pieces, which let me dig, which is very nice, because then I dug out of this. As many people say, never give up. As I say, as well. Because you never know what kind of dig you can get out there. There's a powerful 3 chain. OPM's not in a bad position though, so he's doing completely fine. Of course, he's giving me time to get out of my situation by waiting around a bit. There's a nice curvy 4 chain, see? OPM with a T-spin. Hesitating a bit, giving me time to do things once again. Which is a big thing, especially during margin time. Alright, there's a powerful 2 chain. Because at this point, as you can see, margin time is definitely kicking in because my chains are becoming stronger. You can also tell that because of Tetris is sending 2 lines plus 1, or 13 garbage, rather than just 1 line plus 4, which is 10 garbage. And you can also see that my chain was super buff there, so there's that. Beep 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 beep. Alright. Let's go again. OPM with TKI. Another thing that I often do, aside from like GTR on the right hand side, is I do these just stacks of 3 at the bottom, and it just looks nice. And then I put L shapes on top of them sometimes. Alright, L shapes and flat stacks. I guess that's a big thing for me. Also, here's OPM trying to be fancy, but then like miscalculating or what? I don't know. I couldn't really tell what was going on here. I mean, there were definitely misdrops, 100%. But it was kind of awkward what he was building. So, oh well, I guess. Alright, let's head into the second set. Play. Alright. So, OPM with the DT cannon on the right hand side. I'm stacking on the right hand side just like me. I mean, when I'm playing Puyo. So here's the thing. When you do, when you're doing stuff like setting off your whole DT in one bonk, I guess, you gotta be worried that by doing this, you're giving the Puyo player all the time to build up their chain. And for the Puyo player, that means for you that if they're not setting off their DT cannon in parts, you have to have a higher trigger. And alongside that, make sure you're in a position that allows you to extend nicely. Also, OPM did a bit of a silly with some misdrops there, so yeah, that wasn't so good from him. But that's okay. Those things happen, it's okay. There's him with his, unfortunately, unsuccessful PC opener. Though unsuccessful PCs do lead to a lot of opportunities for the Puyo player to start building bigger chains. As you can see, I made a bit of a sandwich with the transition already ready. There's a 3 chain. It's the kind of thing I'd build for a harassment defense, honestly. Start preparing for everything. Although I'm not 100% ready yet. By clearing the nuisance Puyo underneath the blue, I was unable to make my chain work. Alright, I needed a green there to be able to set that off, but I didn't even have a green coming up, so there was no chance for me. OPM just consistently pressured me, and so I was unable to do anything. That is the Tetris player's job. And look, it's bunch of 2s. Yeah, that happens too. Because what you can do is you just connect up the 2s and it's like, wow, look, you have the links. It ended up being some sort of GTR. So OPM goes with his Tetris stacking, his very fast player, as you can see. So Tetris stacking is a pretty good option as long as you're fast enough. Considering the fact that, remember, Tetrises are worth more than T-spins in the matchup. Well, I mean, Tetrises send just as much as T-spin triples, and T-spin doubles send less than, well, you know, Tetrises. There it goes with the T-spin though. T-spins are just good because of the fact that they're, like, even though they're less, it's not a problem because they're still quite a nuisance. Because T-spin doubles, for example, they send a line +2, and that +2 could end up anywhere, which means that they could become a big problem for you. So there goes OPM with a major attack. I tried to match some stuff up, but it unfortunately didn't match up, so I was sad. However, OPM's mistake there was that he should have just not set off 2 Tetrises. It should have just set off 1. Because the thing is, setting off 2 Tetrises gave me time to get the pieces I needed to set off my chain. If he had stopped himself from doing that, then he would have been able to actually just knock me out because I didn't have the piece ready in time. OPM dealing with the awkward eyepiece rotations. But he's got a very good stack. Right, I do a 2-chain, start clearing out some of the garbage that's in my way so that I can get to what I wanted to do. I've actually converted what was meant to be the trigger, was the purples below, but I've converted it so that the reds on top were the trigger because they're higher up. So it's all about converting things to higher up trigger positions to prepare for Tetris players who are going to send you all that stuff and where you're going to need to take a lot of stuff. And Big Chain knocks OPM out. Beep 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 beep, indeed. So really, playing the matchup is just make sure you have high triggers. Also, a bit of an awkward misdrop there again for OPM. A few awkward misdrops for OPM, honestly. Not the best round for him. But that gives me a lot of time to do stuff. A lot of time to do stuff. As you can see, I've got a lot going on my board now. And then I got a bunch of greens, so I was like, hey, he's stalling, so he should just let me get to my trigger. Because that amount of garbage, I wouldn't be able to take it. The tail wasn't exactly how I wanted it to work, but it was powerful enough that it didn't matter. And it's big 9 chain. Then we kind of just sat around. Just some of these you'll see us like freeze up for a while, and that's usually because of the fact that we're messaging each other over Steam during these matches to be like wow or oh or whatnot. So it's usually at the end of matches we might just freeze up for a bit. And that's the explanation for that. Okay, third and final set for today's episode, or path, whatever you want to call it. I suppose we can start calling these episodes since it's a series, but yeah. So there goes OPM with his PC opener, his favourite opener, in fact. Unless it's Mr. T-Spin opener, but I'm not sure. So I've completely, well nearly completely, but I've focused a bit on the right hand side and made my trigger the greens. Because of the fact that he gave me that much time, I focused on just building up what I could on the right. While not doing too much with the left hand side, except keeping some resources there so that I'll be able to. There, it looked like OPM was contemplating whether or not to take the garbage or not. He decided not to take it because it was too much for him to handle, but eventually he got down this very nice down stack. I was stalling because I wanted to get rid of his garbage, but instead he stalled out, which was a smart move by him. Stalling out. There's a T-spin, and a Tetris, and a double, and a single, and a single. So there's a 5 combo. And I can do absolutely nothing against it. Like, I tried my best, and it's like, oh well. Sometimes that will happen, like, you just have to deal with it. They have a big down stack, yeah, sure. Leading up to that down stack, though, was OPM's clever decision, so you can't just say it was just Tetris being Tetris. It was the player being smart enough to build that sort of thing up. So, my big mistake here was not building a counter build. You can see that I just tried to get the yellows on the left hand side to be my trigger, but that's so low down that it didn't leave me any room for... Also, look at those fancy T-spins. It didn't leave room for what if I don't get the right piece. Bit of a weird position he put himself in there at the end, but it wasn't a problem at all because he didn't need to continue the round even. So yeah, as I said, and as I'm probably going to say many times during this series, the biggest part of Puyo vs Tetris is having an open trigger that is ideally built up, or like in a higher position, so that you can accept some garbage and then set it off. Or, in cases where you're already too high up, just make sure your trigger's ready, and that you're not relying too much on certain colours to continue your chain. So there's a 3 chain from me. OPM does another T-spin. Building up on the right again. But keeping some stuff on the left hand side so that I can retaliate later. All I need is this purple blue. Very nice Hellfire defense. Even counters. As you can see, lots of power in lower links in the matchup will do a lot against the Tetris player. So Hellfires, or 3 or 4 chains that are really strong, will send a lot of garbage. You could see there, that's nearly 2, like, what do you call them? Big nuisance. Or face nuisance, whatever. you get what I mean, I'm pretty sure. Talking about the garbage queue above OPM's forward, field, whatever. Meanwhile, another thing to note is that awkward misdrops. Yeah, that was very awkward. So, a big thing in the matchup that you need to take note of is the fact that when you have power in your higher links, it actually doesn't add much to your chain. Like, a 6 chain compared to a 6 chain that's been buffed with a couple extra Puyos will only send like an extra 2 lines. I don't know the exact calculation for it, but that kind of illustrates how little it does compared to if you have power in your low links. So as I said before, 3 chains and 4 chains and 2 chains that have a lot of power. The power that is in them will send a lot more lines. So, to recap, if that is a bit confusing to understand, I can understand why, because there's a bit of a mumbo-jumbo. Basically, it's ideal to have a lot of power in your lower links. You can have higher links, but just know that adding power to higher links won't do much. So, try to focus your resources on lower links, but have the higher links there, if possible. Anyway, back to this replay. There's OPM with some fancy T-spinning stuff. Don't know what he's doing there. Oh yeah, it's him being fancy, of course it is. Meanwhile, he allowed me to do stuff. So I'm continuing to stack on the right hand side, even though doing stuff on the left hand side would probably be good because of my resources there. But it's no problem since I got a nice clean 4 chain off. Not a problem. Defending myself, preparing myself for marking time. Did a bit of a silly move there, just erasing random stuff on the left. But now you can see I've got a 4 chain ready. There goes OPM with a Tetris to defend himself. Starting to down stack. And there's another fancy T-spin. Alright, so you can see now that I've built a very high trigger, which means I can take a lot of garbage, and I can start building up a lot more. Also, margin type kicking in, Tetris is sending 2 lines plus 1, or 13 garbage, rather than it sending just 1 line plus 4, which is 10 garbage. That's the first indicator of margin time occurring for Tetris. Alright, here goes with his down stack. And now, singles are sending garbage. That's the next step of, for stuff, margin time stuff for Tetris. It's where singles start sending garbage and everything else is buffed up by 1. So doubles start sending how much triples used to send, etc. Or well, triples start sending how much Tetrises start sending extra. That's how margin time works here. In case you want to know. So there, finished OPM off in that game, and there, and now he's starting with a TKI. Look at how consistent his T-spits are though. It's really impressive to see this kind of play. And there's a PC. Cause, you know, there's OPM and there's PCs, and then he puts them together and oh no. So anyway, I tried to get out of the situation. It was very rough. My mistake there was not rotating the piece so that the purple would come out on the bottom. And that was just made me sad. And I was unable to do anything there. Because of my prior mistake, it made it hard to dig out of that. If I hadn't hesitated, I could have potentially done something, but there wasn't much stuff that I could use to dig down far enough for me to keep surviving anyway, so oh well, too bad. And that was OPM's win. Okay, so that will do it for this episode. Hopefully you've been enjoying the series so far. And yeah, there's not much else to say here. Next episode will be coming out very soon actually. I've already got, you can see these replays are already here, waiting, and of course we've got to get another one, since my idea is to do 3 sets of replays per episode. So that should be fun, that should be good, because these are some pretty exciting matches too. I mean, come on, they're all exciting matches, except the ones where one of us just gets, like, smacked on the head and then we just die. But that's inevitable, there will always be rounds like that, but the main focus is just what could have been done rather than what couldn't have been done. Because a lot of people complain when it comes to the matchup, right? People are like, oh no, I can't do this, I can't do that. It's really about considering the options that you have. The ones that are accessible to you. The ones that you could have taken into action. Or, no, that's bad grammar. What am I saying? But the ones that you could have done. The actions you could have taken to either make it go the other way, for it to become your win, or just to ease the process of winning. Or perhaps just to put up a bit more of a fight, because, you know, even if you don't win, if you have a good game, it's all worth it, right? At least that's how I see it. Anyway, that'll be all for today. Hope you enjoyed watching this. Stay tuned, not be tuned. Yeah, strange. My grammar's going all over the place. I should get to sleep. Anyway, stay tuned for the next episode. If you've been enjoying these series, don't forget. What was I saying? Yeah, I don't know. Like and subscribe. Yeah. I don't know anymore. Okay, that's it. Love you guys. See you later. Bye bye.